Hello, hey, welcome to ClarksPlace. Today we're gonna fix a couple things on my charger. I noticed this the other day. There's a little dot hole there, so I've got to inspect that. See how deep that goes. Maybe you can see it from the inside here. It's just behind the kick panel. There's a little bitty hole there. So I may either try to just spot weld that closed, or if it's really decayed back into here somewhat, I may have to even fashion a new plate here for the bottom of that whole A-pillar there. And then I've got a little bit of Bondo that fill a couple of those little pinholes I put back in there. And then I didn't notice this until today as well, when I saw that little hole over there. I actually saw it reviewing one of the videos. But that is actually a little bitty hole right down in here. And I could see actually a little bit of light coming through there. I don't know if you can see it on the video there. Maybe if I go. No, but anyway, there's a little bit of light coming through there as well that I never noticed. So, might do some cleanup. I don't think I've got any other Bondo spots here, but I may scuff this and look for any irregularities or anything like that too. So getting there. Oh, and Dad scratched the charger yesterday when we were welding up the back. So I'll sand out my sail panel here. I don't know if you can make out that scratch from there. He used my car to move my welder, and then it banged against where I hold the welder stick. So little cleanup on aisle 3 here, and then I need to get some primer over all the bare metal where I ground the holes for doing the tail. So I may do some welding, do some cleanup, and then get a little bit of primer mixed up and go around and hit some spots that still have some bare metal showing, and definitely get these spots that I'm gonna work on here back in primer. So we'll see. All right, getting set up here and got the little belt sander out and sand it down, so I've got some good bare metal there that the welder will basically adhere to and weld. I sanded a little spot there that I could clamp onto, and getting some safety gear on, gloves, hat, and such, and a couple little sparkies here and there, and didn't need much. So got the little die grinder out and tried to sand that down pretty flush there, and rounded it out with the belt sander. And I mean, I'm spending a lot of time and energy here inside a spot that no one cares about, but I guess I care. So even though that's going to get, I mean, originally from the factory there was just a huge blob of seam sealer there in that corner where I just welded. I think that's probably what held the moisture and probably what rusted out and put a little surface rust on the front of that A-pillar there. But I'm just trying to do, like I said before, the best possible job that I can. And that includes places that you don't see. So taking the little vibrating sander there and running it all around. This driver's side rocker is particularly, it's the original rocker, and just you've seen in other videos that it's got a lot of little places that need a little attention. So I put a ton of primer on, and this is kind of the first time I think that I've primed, that I've actually sanded it after I put a lot of that primer in. So it ends up pretty darn smooth, and you'll see a little later in the video, I've worked in that same little corner of that spot of that door jamb for, I don't know, I probably spent 10 hours total on both sides, or maybe more. But it's finally getting there, and you'll see a little spot that is still giving me fits here in a minute. But yeah, overall it's turning out pretty good. I've sanded inside the top area of the hinges there and getting it all ready, and I think it's probably getting close to primer. You'll see here in a little bit that the primer stage will be set here shortly. That edge there, I just grabbed a little paint stick with a piece of sandpaper wrapped around it like sticky sandpaper, and just going along the edge of that seam. Yeah, I'm moving the camera here a little bit, but I think I decided it was going to be better to weld from this side. So, but you saw me with that little paint stick just going along the seam where that panel, the quarter panel, wraps around the door jamb there, just making sure that's all really sanded well in there. And here I've got it set up here to do a couple little more sparks. And I decided a little overkill with a little more weld was better than not. So, all right, this is what she looks like. Let me get a flashlight here. Kind of washes it out, but I think you can see pretty much how it looks. That was a big hole down in there. Oh, not a big hole. You couldn't actually see hardly any light through that one. But then got this guy over here squared away. And those little pinholes are actually little pinholes in the top of the weld. There's nothing that you can see through in that one. So all that's going to get a bunch of seam sealer, but I just didn't want cancerous stuff to spread any more than what it was. So yeah. Other side, I think I'm going to do some more work on that other rocker. I've got a little bit more work to do, not on this rocker, but on the other rocker. So we'll see. All right, this section here is the passenger side, just above the door hinges there. And it actually still had a little bit of seam sealer. I thought that all of the seam sealer there was blasted out when I had the whole car sandblasted. But there was still a little bit there, so you saw me with the belt sander just grinding that out. And there's that edge that I'm kind of working right there where the quarter comes over the jamb there. That's what I had the paint stick with the sandpaper wrapped around it that I was talking about on the other side. So just really paying attention to detail, trying to get everything squared away inside that door jamb. A lot of door jambs are not the prettiest, so I'm trying to do the best of my ability here to make mine, when I open it, it's something that I don't look at and go, what in the heck happened here? So all of it's sanding out pretty good except for this spot here. Have you ever just had one stinking pinhole that is the bane of your existence? I don't know if you can make it out there, but I've sanded it down. It's still primer in that stupid hole. I can't get that thing out of there. But you can see it's bare metal all around it. I mean, this is all flat. It's just one little stinking pinhole that I can't get out of there. So since all this is bare metal everywhere around it, I'm just gonna hit it with some more primer and try to really put a lot in there. You can see on the other rocker, it filled in a lot of those little imperfections. I'll show it here in a little bit, but getting better. But oh, there's a pinhole right at the bottom right there too, so got some more work to do, son. All right, so you saw my little bane of my existence there, and as I'm watching, I'm like, why did I start sanding it again? But what I did is, you can see me zooming in a little bit there to show there's a couple other pinholes there. I decided that I would try to sand it down a little bit and then get it to where it wasn't such an immediate crevice hole down in there, and then I'd be able to take a little filler here, which you'll see me jump on some filler and actually get it filled in. And that'll be the last thing I think in this video, is just running around touching up with a little bit of sanding after some of this has dried. I was mixing up some Bondo there, and I decided my finger was the best choice to get it squished in there in both the driver and passenger sides here in those spots. So that's it for this section. Yep, looks terrible, but some idiot had welded this when they were first learning to weld, put that rocker in there. And it was kind of boogery along the bottom down here. So wiped it in with a little glass there. And then you can see I've hit bare metal on both of these strips here. And then this actually came to the surface. So that's a little filler that I was transitioning from here. This came bare metal and that came bare metal and right around here. So as I was sanding all of that, this Bondo came through, so that was a little bit of high spot. So I'm hoping that that's pretty much done. I had a couple pinholes there, and then I wiped a little bit to fill those stupid pinholes that were the bane of my existence there. And got that channel all pretty well squared away. I think she's looking pretty good. I'd already drilled all my holes and fit up my wheel lip moldings, so all those are all in, ready. And then I came around here, and there was a little dot there, a little tiny bit that I scratched it right here when I was putting on both sides the wheel lip molding. So I'm just gonna clean that up a little bit. And then just a little bit in the front of this rocker right here too. There was just a little dot right in there that needed to be filled. And in my style, of course, I blob way too much Bondo and then come back later and clean it up. And then I think there was a pinhole here. So I clean that up. And a couple little pinholes in there too that I had fixed. So getting down to the last little nitty-gritty details. I don't know if anyone cares, but I told you I was doing it start to finish, so day after day of more stuff. What fun it is. Alright, just getting it set up there so you can see the last of this video here. Running along a little pinch weld there, getting some stuff sanded down, and break out the little sander here and start working on some of that Bondo. So as always, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.